My name is Emily Carter. I'm 28 years old, and I live in Manchester, United Kingdom. I work as a nurse at Manchester Royal Infirmary. And for the past 4 years, I was married to James Carter, a 28-year-old surgeon. This story isn't about love. It's about what happens when love turns into betrayal. My story is about how I caught my husband cheating with his own sister. I still remember the first time I met James. He was standing by the nurse's station, wearing that easy grin that melted through every bad day. We were both 24, full of dreams and exhaustion from hospital shifts. I thought fate had written our story in bright ink that day, the kind that never fades. I didn't know yet that even the brightest beginnings can turn into nightmares. 4 years of dating turned into marriage that felt like home. We built everything together, shared routines, late-night laughter, quiet Sunday breakfasts. Our love wasn't perfect, but it was ours. At least I believed it was. The only dark cloud above us was the one thing we couldn't control. We couldn't have children. Still, we promised to explore adoption, to grow our family another way. James worked as a surgeon. I was a nurse. Long hours, endless patience, tired smiles. We barely had time for each other, but whenever we did, I felt whole again. His family seemed to adore me, or so I thought. Especially his mother, who hosted family dinners every first Saturday of the month. She was the heart of the house, the kind who'd overcook just to make sure no one left hungry. But every family has someone who never fits the pattern. For us, it was his sister, Olivia. 25, glamorous, and spoiled beyond reason. She floated through life like rules didn't apply. 4 jobs in 6 months, all toxic environments, according to her. Designer handbags, endless shopping trips, and the constant draining of her parents' wallet. But the worst part wasn't her spending. It was her attitude toward me. Every time James kissed my forehead, Olivia's eyes would harden. When I'd talk to him, she'd slide between us, laughing too loudly, touching his arm too often. I tried to convince myself it was innocent, siblings being close. But sometimes her gaze lingered too long, her smile too smug. I brought it up to James once, voice trembling. He just chuckled and said, "You're overthinking again, Em." That sentence became his favorite excuse. You're overthinking. Maybe I was. Maybe exhaustion and stress made me paranoid. But some part of me, the part that noticed every glance, every whisper, didn't believe it. Still, I tried to bury my doubts, convincing myself that trust meant not checking behind closed doors. I wish I had. I wish I'd looked sooner. A few months later, his mother invited us again for the usual Saturday dinner. Olivia arrived late, draped in perfume and arrogance. When I leaned over to kiss James's cheek, I caught her eyes narrowing, a tiny flicker of disgust she didn't bother to hide. That night, something in my gut told me this family had secrets I wasn't meant to see. The following week, I had an early shift at the hospital. James had the day off. He said he was meeting college friends, people I'd never met. I smiled, told him to enjoy himself, and headed to work. But fate has a cruel way of changing plans. Around noon, a wave of dizziness hit me like a truck. My coworkers helped me to a chair, insisting I go home to rest. My colleague Selena offered me a ride home since James had our car. I thanked her, promising I'd rest. When I got inside, the silence felt comforting. I took a shower, made some tea, and curled up on the couch. The house smelled like lavender and lemon, peaceful, safe. For a moment, I almost forgot everything. But peace never lasts when the truth is waiting upstairs. I spent a few hours tending to my garden, losing myself in the rhythm of pulling weeds and trimming roses. The world always made sense in the dirt. Roots never lied. When I came back inside around 4, I noticed something strange. James's shoes were by the door. He wasn't supposed to be home. And next to them, Olivia's designer jacket hung on the coat rack. My pulse quickened. Maybe she'd just stopped by to drop something off. That's what I told myself. But then I heard it, faint laughter and the sound of movement coming from upstairs. My stomach tightened, my hands shaking as I crept toward the staircase. Each step felt heavier than the last, my heart pounding in my throat. I don't know what I expected to find, but it wasn't this. Through the small crack of our bedroom door, I saw them. James, my husband, and Olivia, his sister, sprawled across our bed. His hand brushed her face softly, hers clutched the back of his neck. My mind froze. It was like the world stopped spinning. I didn't breathe, didn't blink, just stood there, watching the man I loved touch someone he never should have. 3 minutes passed before I moved. My hands were trembling so violently I nearly dropped my phone. I lifted it and recorded, proof that this wasn't a nightmare. Then I opened the door and stepped inside. "Don't stop on my account," I said, my voice cold and broken all at once. James went pale. Olivia smirked, proud, like she'd finally won something she'd been fighting for. I screamed at them both to get out. My voice cracked with rage, pain, disbelief. They left in silence, except Olivia, who brushed past me with a smirk that burned itself into my memory. I stood there shaking, surrounded by betrayal that still smelled like our perfume. That night, I deleted our photos, tore apart the bedsheets, and cried until dawn. By morning, the real nightmare began. My phone exploded with messages from his family, accusations, insults, disbelief. His mother said I was jealous of a sibling bond. His father called me a horrible woman. I didn't reply to anyone except his father. I simply sent the video. No words, no explanation. Silence has its own way of destroying lies. The silence after I sent that video was the loudest I'd ever heard. For a moment, I thought maybe they'd finally understand. But less than an hour later, the replies started coming in. Denial, outrage, excuses. His mother accused me of faking the video. His father said I'd edited it to destroy their family. The truth didn't matter anymore. They'd already chosen who to believe. James came home later that night, eyes bloodshot, shirt wrinkled. He didn't say a word at first, just stood there in the doorway like a stranger. "You ruined everything," he whispered finally. I laughed, a hollow, bitter sound I barely recognized. "No, James, you ruined everything when you touched your sister." His face twisted, and for the first time, I saw guilt, not love. He begged me not to tell anyone else, said Olivia was confused and that it didn't mean anything. The words made my stomach turn. I couldn't look at him without feeling sick. He reached for my hand. I stepped back. "You don't get to touch me ever again," I said. That night he slept on the couch. I slept with the door locked. The next few days were a blur of whispers and messages. Word spread fast. Colleagues avoided me. Nurses looked away in pity. James's friends stopped greeting me in the cafeteria. I could see it in their eyes. They didn't know what to believe. That's the cruelest part of betrayal. It doesn't just break your heart, it erases your credibility. Then came Olivia's message. "You should have kept your mouth shut," she wrote. "You'll regret embarrassing my family." I stared at the screen, shaking. The audacity of it, the pure lack of shame, stunned me. I didn't reply. Some people don't deserve words, only distance. James's mother called me that evening, sobbing and furious. "You're destroying our family," she said. "Olivia is fragile. She's been through enough." I wanted to scream. "So has your son's wife," I whispered before hanging up. That night, I realized something painful. I wasn't just losing a husband. I was losing the entire family I thought I'd joined. 2 days later, I packed a small suitcase. Clothes, documents, my grandmother's ring, the essentials. I left the rest, The wedding photos, the gifts, the home we'd built. James stood at the door, begging me to stay. "We can fix this," he said. I looked at him one last time and whispered, "You can't fix what's rotten at the core." Then I walked away. The first night alone was the hardest. The silence felt heavy, cruel. Every creak of the walls reminded me of his voice. I wanted to call someone, but who? His family hated me, and mine lived miles away. I sat by the window with tea gone cold, realizing that sometimes survival starts with nothing but your own heartbeat. Days turned into weeks. I filed for divorce quietly, without warning him. My lawyer said he looked devastated when the papers arrived at the hospital. Good. For once, he could feel something close to what I felt: betrayal, shock, loss. But mine came with no comfort, only clarity. I deleted his number, blocked Olivia everywhere, and stopped attending family dinners. His mother showed up at my work once, crying at the reception desk, demanding to speak to me. Security escorted her out. That night, I sat in the staff lounge shaking. How could people twist something so vile into sympathy for her? Rumors spread that I'd made it all up, that I'd been jealous of their bond. Even my supervisor asked me to take a few weeks off to let things calm down. I agreed, though inside I was crumbling. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw them: my husband's hand on his sister's skin, my life collapsing in silence. One evening, I ran into James outside the hospital. He looked thinner, haunted. "I'm sorry," he said softly. I didn't respond. He tried again. It was a mistake. I looked him straight in the eye. "A mistake is forgetting an anniversary, James, not sleeping with your sister." He said nothing. The truth hit harder than any slap ever could. After that, he stopped trying. I heard Olivia moved back in with their parents, flaunting her new car like nothing had happened. I guess guilt never finds the ones who feel nothing. But I found something. Peace. It was faint at first, but real. I could finally breathe without choking on memories. The divorce was finalized 3 months later. I walked out of the courthouse with trembling hands, but a steady heart. It wasn't victory, just freedom. I left behind his name, his lies, and the life I thought we'd share. I didn't know where I was going next, but anywhere was better than where I'd been. That night, I stood in front of the mirror, whispering to my reflection, "You survived." My eyes were swollen, my voice cracked, but I meant it. For the first time in months, I wasn't someone's wife, someone's victim, or someone's story. I was just Emily again, and maybe that was enough. Months passed since the divorce, yet the ghost of that house still followed me. Some nights, I'd wake to silence and think I heard his voice, but the pain was dull now, replaced by something sharper: purpose. I'd survived humiliation, gossip, and loneliness. Now, it was time to build a life that no one could break again. I transferred to a new hospital, one where no one whispered about my past. The first day felt like breathing clean air after years underwater. My patients didn't know my story. They only knew my kindness. And for the first time, that was enough. Healing wasn't instant. Some days I still cried in the shower, grieving the version of me that trusted too easily. But each tear washed away a piece of that old life. I started therapy, learned to forgive myself, and realized strength isn't loud, it's steady. Then one evening, I ran into someone I never expected, James's father. He looked older, tired, almost ashamed. "I saw the video," he admitted quietly. "I believe you." Those 4 words hit harder than any apology from James ever could. Validation felt like oxygen. We talked for hours, not about revenge, but about truth. He confessed the family finally turned on Olivia after her lies unraveled. For the first time, I saw the guilt in his eyes. It wasn't satisfaction I felt, just closure. Sometimes justice comes silently, years later. After that night, I stopped checking their social media, stopped wondering who believed me. The past lost its grip. I joined a hiking club, made new friends, and found laughter that wasn't followed by fear. I wasn't rebuilding what broke. I was creating something brand new. A year later, I moved into a small flat filled with light and plants. Every corner smelled like peace. Sometimes I'd catch myself smiling for no reason, the kind of smile that comes when you realize you're finally safe in your own skin. People ask me if I'd ever forgive James. The truth? I already have. Not for him, but for me. Forgiveness doesn't excuse the pain. It releases its hold. I learned that peace isn't found in revenge or apologies. It's found when you choose yourself again and again. Sometimes I still walk past the hospital where we first met. The memories don't hurt anymore. They remind me that even broken beginnings can teach beautiful endings. I'm not the same woman who stood crying in that doorway. I'm stronger, quieter, and finally free. My name is Emily Carter, and this is how I turned betrayal into rebirth. Life didn't end when my marriage did. It began the moment I chose to stop bleeding for people who never cared if I lived. Now, when I look in the mirror, I don't see pain. I see power.